Hey, it's the Chief bonding with board games and RPGs, and we're going to talk about Cities Without Number by Kevin Crawford. So this is a role-playing game or a book for a cyberpunk setting. Well, I've got the brand new game I'm doing without a setting book at all. It's Neuralink, the RPG. And I'm using currently, I may switch to this, we'll see, but I wanted to use a real light rule system. So maze rats, and I like a light system because doing the live or filming shows, I did a whole live series using this as well. I thought, let's keep the overhead easy for the show, and I'll just use these rules here slightly modified. However, I grabbed this book and I thought I need something to help me flesh out the rest of the world, and I started reading the rules for the world building. So I'm going to move quickly, but I want to show you how this world building sandbox system works. So as you create, you're first going to have your world, then your nation, or maybe just your city. Your city may be your nation. Then you'll shrink down into your districts and maybe all the way into your neighborhood within that district. So flipping the page, I'm on a cyberpunk theme. You have all kinds of themes listed here. I'm sure you can see a couple. Despair, squalor. I chose dehumanization. Neuralink, the role-playing game, as I see it, is 4 years into the future, and it's the very first beginnings of humans starting to augment themselves as cybernetic units, a combination of machine and human, a dehumanizing beginning. So having the theme of what I know we're going to be dealing with, I come into that big worldview of what is going on in the world. And you can see just real quick, you're going to choose a date. Mine's 4 years into the future. I have a specific date. Choosing the global problems. Not too different from how they are now, but my overall feeling is that things are just worse. I did make 5 mega corporations, and then when you write your history, you're supposed to get a feel from where we are right now today to, in my case, just 4 years more. How do things get weird in just 4 years? Well, just to give you an example or a feeling, I think this Neuralink, this cybernetic move, is going to be more transformative. This is me in real life. More transformative than what cell phones have done for us. Smartphones, not just cell phones, but the smartphone. And believe me, I watched when Jobs held up his first smartphone and said, this is going to revolutionize the world. And I remember thinking, it's just a phone that can do some computer stuff. I was dumb. If you don't know what some of the world problems are, there is a chart that you can roll on and then get more detail. Or in my case, I just went through and kind of knew that we were going to have more violence. The dehumanization was there, but it gives you prompts or even randomness if you want to just determine that. Now you're shrinking in and creating your city. I wanted to make it a little easy for me. I live in Wichita, Kansas. I didn't want to make it Wichita, but I decided that for my map, it will basically be Wichita writ a little bit larger. Wichita is already, like number 46 out of the top 50 states in the United States, but I wanted it to be just a little bit bigger than that. I have my map. I'm choosing my problem, which is that one of my mega corporations is a huge hospital that controls a whole district. Neuralink is simply considered, quote, an outpost within that medical complex. And my character Gomer, works in that Neuralink outpost. But you're going to have your major corporations, which I developed. You'll build out your starting district. And then for your city's problems, again, you get prompts just like you did. Sorry for the glare. These are glossy pages, but you'll get prompts just like you did for your world. You can go through and pick them, or you can roll randomly. No nukes in my world, not this one. Building the districts is just a shrinking down of everything we've already done, but with a little more detail. So you're going to have specific district traits. Is this Chinatown, where you've got that whole culture down there and the food and the entertainment? Or the gaming cafe. It was also not only a place of entertainment, but it's a place where there's a lot of black market trading going on, which is controlled by a gang, and you're going to be coming up with your local gangs as well. You'll have your local big corporations, your fixers, who are the people that are going to be giving you the jobs, and you're going to create a name for your district. So again, just like for the world and for the city, you have prompts that are going to allow you, now this is 50 options, but then you can dial it in and kind of either pick again or just go random. Creating the megacorps is where you're going to see these same 5 types of tables. So the first is simply the main focus of the corp, and it is corpse or corp, and the general corp style. So are they dwindling, decaying, cultish, bureaucratic, brutish? Then you come over and you have a strength for your corp, recent event, current corp goals, and then a naming process that allows you to blend things together. So you might have product it sells, heart surgery. Well, you're selling heart surgery. So you may say good heart, and then you would roll again, and 9 is incorporated. Your company could literally be Good Heart Inc. This system is used again for creating gangs. You can see it even looks similar. Now there's some little peculiar differences, but the feel, the process of moving through it is the same. This book and its world building is just pleasant. It's here's the world, here's the city, here's the district. Feeling similar, feeling similar. Now you're going to go and create district details. Oh, corpse, gangs. All right, feeling similar, interesting, fun. Creating NPCs, same, feeling different, but still very comfortable. NPCs are great. You're going to just populate some random ones. Turns out I did this. It tells you to do this because you'll be surprised when you'll need one. You can just throw one in randomly, or I was creating what we're going to get to here in a second, schemes that lead towards hooks and missions. And immediately I was like, that's the NPC. The NPC is a detective that's good, honorable in a bad department or situation. And yet he's almost, well, he's becoming in the Neuralink RPG like a fixer. He's got his own police motivations, but he's a good soul and he's got some jobs out there. Then we get into explaining in detail how you're going to create and run missions. It's going to walk you through more of a high level, and then it's going to dial in on each one of these issues. Then you're going to come in and create schemes. It'll explain what schemes are, and then it's going to dial in how you can come up with some hooks for those schemes. There ended up being a scheme that the hospital wanted to make more money from their morgue. Well, how in the heck do you do that? Well, you start selling parts. And it worked in with a whole nother scheme that was separate, where one of the gangs was organ leggers, like bootleggers, but organ leggers. And that whole gang had come into their position by usurping a different gang that did the same thing. Well, immediately I had a scheme that was set up where the hospital still wants to sell parts, but they don't have their old contact. So now you have a whole list of things this could be from a fixer standpoint. The hospital needs to make a new connection with somebody that'll buy parts, or you need to stop the sale of these parts, or you're actively involved in being the connection. You can go all kinds of different ways, but this will lay out the milestones for it. NPC operator teams. You'll have like 5 schemes that you'll come up with at district level. Schemes could even rise up to city level or even world level, nation level. But in this case, they're district level. And if you don't take a job, again, sorry for the glare, if you don't take a job, it's possible it just times out, but it's also possible that another NPC operator team took it. And this team could end up being someone you work with, work against. So you get all these little interesting problems that can pop up. NPC scheme results, and an example that walks you through a full page of how this all happens and works, and then how to take a scheme, how to take a scheme and turn it into a mission. You're going to prepare the hook, you're going to create the mission, and then you're going to clean up the after effects. You've got your schemes. The fixer has to float out some hooks without all the details for the players. So again, it could be a corporation needs to make a connection with some organ leggers. Ooh. And they're willing to pay 10 grand. Okay, great. There's the hook. You already know it's some corporation. We don't know who. and you know that you need to reach out to organ leggers, don't sound like the most friendliest people to reach out to, and that somehow you're going to be involved in making a connection. Well, I know more of the whole story as the GM, or in this case, I'm running through solo, but my characters don't know the rest of the story. And I know that there ends up being all these little things going on of illegality with the major corporation of the hospital complex, connecting in with a gang that just usurped another gang, and the struggles that come out of that. And the fact that you never prep more than you need. So when this mission that they go on, or a portion of the mission they go on, I'll ask the group, what do you want to do next time we meet? They may say, we want to kidnap the contact because we're not looking to fulfill the contact. We want to take over the organ legging ourselves. And I'd go, you disgusting people. No, I'd say, fine, okay. Well, now I know for the next time they come over, I need an NPC that they're going to make connection with. They're going to kidnap him. How do they pull that off? And then they've got to get word to the gang, we got your guy. Or do they not want word? They just plan on just executing or taking these folks out. Or who knows, are they working for the police and they're going to try to flip it and get the corporation in trouble, or a whole nother corporation in general? So I want to know, what are you guys planning to do? And then I do work on only what they plan to do. And it tells you that. Mission tag. So in a mission tag, you already have the framework of what the mission's going to be. Let's go back to this organ legging in a hospital. But now I need to flesh out the details. Well, I can roll randomly again or pick. There's 50 options here. And it might tell me, so what I'm remembering is drug dealer. Well, under drug dealer, you're going to have a paragraph that's going to explain 5 different things from 5 different perspectives. It could be enemies. So are these drug dealers the enemies that I'm trying to deal with, or friends, or complications, things, or places? And if I come over to drug dealer, you get a little description of what the drug dealing is. So cyberpunk, maybe it's like some new synthetic H or something. I'm not going to use the word, but if you came in under enemies, you might have a mad genius with a new attractive drug. So instead, it's friends. Addict trying to get free. Got it. Maybe we go with that. Maybe the mission has a mission inside of it where there's a wealthy member of the government or corporation whose trust fund son has a drug addiction, and they want you to go get the son out of there. It's a job within a job. Or maybe it's a side complication that the same drug dealer under complications also sells vitally important legal pharmaceuticals that are necessary for survival. How do you preserve that but stop the illegal side? Or things. You're in the midst of your mission, your crew comes across this unbelievable warehouse with a huge stash of illegal narcotics. Are you going to steal it? Do you burn it? What way is your group going to go? But you now know this is going to be part of the mission. It's going to be in there. Or places. A high-end party club that's full of the rich and the famous, Studio 54, yet it's got all this drug activity. So that's just one, and you can then figure out, how does this interact? Friend, place, complication. Just love the mission details. And you get page after page, 50 different options of this as you go through. So you can roll randomly to get it. Or you can go look and say, I know exactly what they just ran into. Let me go look this up and get some help in fleshing it out. So again, if you don't know, there's prompts to help you walk through it. And then under the defense, there's even more details for each one of those 10 categories. You've got a one-roll fixer generator. So I need a fixer, a guy that's giving me jobs. In my own campaign, what I ended up as one of the fixers is an honest, good cop. And he needs groups operating outside of law enforcement that, 1, he can trust, and that 2, can't be tied back to him. It's like this hybrid weird fixer. But we're not doing it for money, so what are we doing it for? Well, he gives us access to things like he can search somebody, or he can bring in heat on something. So it ends up being this quid pro quo relationship. But if that isn't developing, or you need some help developing something out, right here. And then creating an intrusion mission. So it's so hard to create, like, we need to infiltrate in, we need to take over their computer system. Once we're in, we need to steal a hard drive that's in a secure, cool location underground. You need help for all that. There's details on how to create that. This world building section is worth the price of the book. I love it, and that's why I'm doing this little drop-in review. Still not sure if I'm going to end up using the rest of this, but I've purchased every one of these books now. Cities Without Number, Cyberpunk. Worlds Without Number. Very cool fantasy setting with, like, I don't know, 7 different societal crashes or something. Like, we would be one of these crashes. Stars Without Number, sci-fi, how to build out space lanes and planets and name them and all this stuff. And then getting ready to come to Kickstarter soon, Ashes Without Number, apocalyptic, baby. You got a touch of some of that in here, but you're going to have full-blown apocalyptic. Is it zombies? Is it Mad Max type? Is it some plague? What is it? What's going on? Boom. These world building tools, sandbox stuff is whoo, gotta go. I'll let you guys go. See ya. Bye.